Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dragonball Speak, a show where we summarize and review every episode of Dragon Ball Z. We rate them each on a scale of 1 to 7 stars. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon.
And I'm Wesley.
And this is Dragon Ball Speak, episode 88. Quick shout out to our patrons, Shuffle T, Brian Kazmala, Rapato 1992. Thank you guys so much. And I wanted to do a quick shout out. Last episode, I announced that I'm having twinsies.
Yes.
Meaning twin children. And I wanted to shout out Brian Kazmala because he said on YouTube, he said that he also has an announcement. Him and his wife are expecting their first in June, and they've been trying for 6 years.
What? That's amazing. Congrats, Brian.
So that's awesome. Brian, that is the coolest thing ever, and thank you for sharing that with us. And let's co-parent. Let's just all get together and figure out how to raise kids, because Lord knows I have no idea what I'm going to be doing.
That's awesome. I don't typically check YouTube comments because I know sometimes people discuss things that I can't see, so I would have not seen that, but I'm glad you brought it up because that is freaking awesome.
Yeah, we got
baby making season.
It must be because Lord knows I made 2. And yeah, so anyway, let's get into it. So I did that thing again where I tell you that the episodes are going to be really good because I get excited. And for the most part, I was right. But I was so excited because I thought this was going to be potentially, I think, off the top of my head, our first string of 3 7s in a row for me.
They're close.
And sadly, there were some production issues on episode 282. But I kind of want to hear like your perspective on these episodes. I feel like mine might be obvious, but just go ahead and go through like 280 and 280. Well, 280 is a really, really, really big one because it kind of has like the culmination of one of our favorite characters' arcs. So I kind of want to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, 280, Vegeta's Respect is probably the best episode we've had in a minute, which isn't saying much because of the Buu Saga, but I still think it's a really great episode. Honestly, thinking about it, possibly my favorite since Super Saiyan 2, Gohan.
Nice. I love hearing that.
But I don't know. That's just off the top of my head. Yeah. So do we want to throw it, or you just want my thoughts on like what happens?
Yeah. Go ahead and go through it, and then like when we get to the big part, you can talk about that. I kind of want to hear what you say.
Yeah, this episode and the next one kind of meld together, not in a bad way. It's just that they are
very similar.
Yeah, it's fighting. It's just time to beat some ass finally, and that is exactly what Goku does, or he thinks he's doing. And it looks like it too. He is beating ass. If Bubblegum Boo can be ass. Yeah, I mean, he's just like ripping into him. We're getting some amazing shots, lots of shots that are like zoomed in, and then you just see the impact point and it kind of sticks on it for like a second or two.
Yeah,
and it's very cool. I think the best way to describe Goku in these 2 episodes is just hard. Like,
it's so hard, dude.
One of the lines, so he like blows it might have been after the Kamehameha, I don't remember, but Boo is like switched up and his head's like missing and his pants are like on top, whatever. And there's a corny line, but the delivery is so good. It's hard as hell. He says something along the lines of like, I know we're both under pressure, but try to keep your head on your shoulders, because Boo's head wasn't on his shoulders. Corny line on paper. Like if I read that on paper, I'd be like, weak. What the hell is this? But the way that, not Christopher Sabat, Schimmel delivers it is hard as hell. Like it's ice cold. It's so sick.
It is. I love that Super Saiyan 3, he does like a deeper, like kind of like more intense voice.
Yeah, it's more like focused, and it's so sick. And really the animation for both these first 2 episodes was like, especially this one was like super standout for me.
Movie quality, dude. Like, yeah, legitimately movie quality.
Yeah, there's a Kamehameha right near the beginning of this episode, or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. The next one, again, they meld together, but like it's just so sick. He's screaming. They're like, it's all kinds of different various shots. Its perspectives are awesome. The colors are great. Like it's so cool. Very nice to be back into this style of Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, it's just there's like, dude, it's frustrating. Like, it's frustrating because you get the highs and lows when it comes to like old school anime. Like, sometimes it's really inconsistent. But dude, like, these highs are like they can stand up to anything today, to this day, and it's just insane. It was so ahead of its time, because yeah, these two episodes, 280 and 281, they definitely have different directors. You can tell it's a very slightly different style, but they are just so like straight up raw. And this one has an entire flashback sequence that's all reanimated to like this person's style, and it's really cool. The next one's a little more like intense, like harsher lines, but it's still really really amazing. But did you notice that freaking Dende's a kid again?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god!
I wrote a note in the last episode. I said Kai and Dende coming to help, but I was about to write Dende, and then I was like, wait a second. I was like, do I have this wrong?
Is this even Dende anymore?
And then I was like, no, it's Dende. But yeah,
dude, that's like the 6th time.
I know, it's weird. I don't know why I don't know what the struggle is there.
It's weird because when in production, you have a character sheet and it shows like the characters' designs for the sequence of episodes from like different angles and whatever. Yeah. And it has like their height is part of it. Like, why does he keep on becoming a child again?
Especially because when he's like grown, he's not like he's not the size of like Piccolo.
No, he's like, he's just a little taller.
Yeah. So it's weird that they even, I mean, changing it is fine, but yeah, like, why are you going back and forth, and what's the struggle? But yeah, that's in 282. This episode, he does a Goku in the first half does like a Kamehameha, and
it was so good, dude.
Yeah.
One of his best.
Well, might be my favorite in recent memory, at least.
Yeah. And he even says, he's like, I'm gonna regret this because he's only got so much energy. Something I love about these episodes is just like the feeling, how well they conveyed like the physical toll that Super Saiyan 3 has on him. Because once again, like, I still think it should have debuted here. We talked about that last episode. But even so, like, the fact that he developed it when he was dead and now he is not dead. And so, like, his physical body is unable to keep up with it.
And it's, it's just a nice, like, depth to add to Super Saiyan, because Super Saiyan 1 and 2 kind of seem infinite, or... I mean, at this point, Super Saiyan 1 is, like, easily accessible to tap into for him. Mm-hmm. And probably even 2 even. So it's nice that there's a level that he can't just... Because, like, why would he not go into Super Saiyan 3 every time? But now we have, like... A reason where he can't just use this god power all the time.
Right.
But yeah, so he does the Kamehameha, and Boo gets split into, like, a bunch of pieces. That's kind of what happens after every hit, is, like, the bubblegum thing. And
how tired are you of seeing him, like, reform?
It's annoying, because I'm like, aim for the head or something. Like,
they do that.
There's a scene, I think it's in the next episode, where Vegeta shoots his legs, or his torso, and his torso disappears, but his top stays. And then he waits, and then the torso reappears, and he shoots it again, and I'm like, Vegeta, give me like a 1-2. 1-2, and he's done. But alas. But yeah, so then Boo kind of turns into like 100 Boos and just rains down on Goku. And this is what causes him to power down from Super Saiyan 3 all the way down to base.
Yeah.
Just normal-ass human Goku. And everyone's like, uh-oh, this is not good.
Because you don't expect, because he's going into a power-up. He's like yelling, and you're like, oh, cool, he's charging up. And then all of a sudden, like 1 frame later, his hair's black, and you're like, oh, shit.
So he's like clearly not doing great. And then him and Vegeta kind of have like a little pep talk thing real quick. And Goku, in typical Goku fashion, is like, I got to get back in there. And he goes to Super Saiyan 2?
He went 1, 2, 3 all through him. Well... Vegeta jumped in. I was a little confused. I almost wonder if it was like a coloring error, because he jumped in and was fighting Boo for like a very short, brief period. True, yeah. Because Goku got knocked onto his face or he just collapsed after he went into base form. And Vegeta didn't go Super Saiyan for this one.
He was... Yeah.
We won't even go there right now, but
yeah, and so basically Goku like gets back in there, and Vegeta's like, dude, what is this guy is wild. Like, he just I don't know how he has it in him. And then I had a feeling, I was like, I thought he was, for a second I wrote old Vegeta making an appearance, not before the flashback started, because I thought he started to sound like the prideful Vegeta, like we've heard Vegeta say, like, you've been holding back on me, you son of a bitch. Like, I can't believe you've, like, been holding back on me. That's not cool. That's disrespectful. And he kind of started this monologue with the same kind of energy, like that Goku. Of course, you have this in you. You're always surprising me like this. But then it turns into like we go into flashbacks, which are amazing. As Brandon mentioned, they like reanimated their first fight. It's funny because they use the same voice lines, I think, and you can tell. Like,
I think he's just a god. I think he just recreated his voice from then.
Oh, well, it's great because it is so different and more menacing and like almost like a little more posh sounding than the way he is now. And we see them fighting, and the Kaioken, yeah, whenever they're fighting on the cliffs and stuff. And basically the thesis of this entire thing is like Vegeta's saying, I've been trying so hard to be better than you, and every step of the way you manage to outdo me, and I think it's time I finally like admit to myself that you are the best Saiyan. Like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you became Super Saiyan so quick, much more quickly than me. I don't know how you got to Super Saiyan 2 and 3 before me and all this stuff. And yeah, he's like, you are the best of the Saiyan race. Like, it's you. And I'm going to sit back and let you do your thing, because if you're the one that can do it, not me. And the episode's called Vegeta's Respect, which I believe is, Goku, without knowing it, he probably thought that he had Vegeta's respect because they've kind of been homies. But I think now, for real, Vegeta's like viewing Goku as an equal.
No longer a low-class warrior. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, this is the culmination of his entire arc. Like, from so obviously, even from like, all right, so his first appearance, he's the villain. He's the antagonist of the arc.
Yeah.
And then, he sticks around. Namek, he's still a bad guy, but he's somewhat willing to cooperate, whether he's willing to admit it or not, because the enemy of my enemy is, whatever. Yeah. And then even going into Cell, like, so think of the jump from like Vegeta's first appearance to Cell arc. Even that's a huge jump, because he has a child. He's
taller now.
He is taller. His hairline is better.
Oh yeah, that's a part of the monologue that I missed. Is he's through it. He's processing. He's like, I used to think it was because you had family and friends and people that you cared for, which is something I didn't have. And then we see Goku's family, and then Vegeta's like, but I also got a family, and we see Trunks and Bulma, and that adds to Vegeta realizing, like, and it's not something that Goku has that I don't have. Like, it is innate. Like, Goku is better than me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's so just even going back to Cell arc, dude. Like, he was so intense still in the Cell arc. Like, pretty much still hated Goku, still saying he's gonna kill him, even whatever. Allowed imperfect Cell to become perfect Cell. All this, just the ego was completely out of control still.
I mean, even as recent as the Majin fight.
Yeah.
Like, that's when he was like pissed, and really he was like, this is my moment to take you down, and I'm going to, and he still couldn't.
And I think that fight was the culmination of his anger, where he talks about, like, I was so angry that I was blind to the fact that, like, you are just better than me. Like, and the fact that he was so angry that Goku had hid, he didn't know yet, sorry. But after that, he was even more angry about that, because Goku had hidden Super Saiyan 3 from him in that fight.
Yeah.
Like, Goku could have ended it instantly, but chose not to. And
which is another point of the monologue. It's all like coming back to me vividly, is mercy is something he talks about, which he said he's never had. He's just killed whoever he's wanted. He's always had the power to do that. He's never had to think about it. Never had a second thought for anyone but himself, really. And then he met Goku and saw that Goku has mercy for people, even the worst of people. And and Vegeta looked at that as a weakness. But for Goku, it wasn't about killing this person or that person. It was about the fight. And that was something Vegeta just couldn't understand. And I think Vegeta's starting to see now that that's like a strength of Goku. It's a strength to have enough care for humanity that you're not trying to kill, you're trying to win. And sometimes you do kill when winning, but you don't have to. And I think this is the gateway to how, because I don't think Vegeta and Goku are done fighting like hand to hand. Like, I know probably in Super, probably not in Z, that they're going to have a fight. But it will be the kind of fight that Goku's always wanted, which is like, let's just do it, man.
Between equals.
Yeah, like friends. Like, let's fight because we love fighting, not because you want to kill me, Vegeta.
Yeah, I just love the it's funny that you mentioned the Super Saiyan 2 episode at all, because in the way that was Gohan's culmination, the culmination of Gohan's character, like this episode is the culmination of Vegeta's.
Yeah.
And since Goku is a character that is relatively unchanging, what's interesting about him is the effect that he has on others, and so we get to see that firsthand. And gosh, what else was I gonna say? I have one more point, but maybe it'll come to me later. But it was awesome, man. That monologue was awesome. It's just one of the best.
Vegeta is the king of, not the prince. He's the king of monologues in Dragon Ball Z. IMO.
Wow, not the prince.
Not the prince. He's leveled up.
He is, dude. And Christopher Sabat, he's just so great.
Yeah, he's awesome. That was perfect.
We're so bad about that, dude. We gotta not do that. But yeah, Goku's still fighting Boo. Boo, it's funny when he hits Boo and Boo like flies back, just the top half flies backwards, and he scares Satan and then goes back and headbutts Goku. Dude, the fight choreography and the animation is just so interesting. Like Boo is, they really play with him here, like in such cool ways. I love it so much.
It's like almost frustrating because it feels like Toriyama. I either get the sense that in real time he was like, all right, people have not been liking what we like. And he's gotten his bag and here's the best I can give you. And it's incredible because that's what Toriyama does. Or we purposefully had to sit through what we've been sitting through because this heater was coming. Because this fight and the action, the animation, every aspect of it. Yeah, even like just the shots and the choreography of the fight is just it's just so different from everything else we've seen in the Buu saga. Like, everything pales in comparison. This is like one of Dragon Ball Z's best looking fights in a long time, and probably in like the top 5 easily, for me at least.
And if we're talking straight up like animation and choreography, like I honestly think it's the best.
Yeah.
Just art and animation wise. I don't think it's the best fight, in other ways, thematically and whatever. But but dude, it's just so pretty. Like, it's so good to look at. And
it works to their advantage too that Buu is or Kid Buu is like more animal than someone who wants to talk, because a lot of times we'll have these fights and they're cool, but then they have like their one-liners they have to say, or they'll say something and you're like, why are you standing there looking at each other talking instead of fighting? But because Buu is just laughing at everything and Goku has nothing to say to him because there's no speaking to like pathos with Buu, they're just beating the shit out of each other. So cool. God,
I love it so much, dude. It's like one of the best episodes in the show. Obvious 7.
Yep, 7 out of 7.
We got
7 in a minute. I feel like. I got close with last week. 279 got a 6.
I think I gave a 7 last week. Battle for the Universe Begins got a 7 for me.
Which one is that?
That's the last episode we watched, actually, 279.
Okay, I give that one a 6. My last 7 was 255 Buu against Buu, which is funny to read now because of where we're heading. Which is Buu against Buu again.
Oh, where was Buu against Buu?
255.
That was your last 7?
Yeah.
Really? Is that where Evil Buu?
Yes. I put gray.
Gray Buu.
Yeah, and then pink Buu.
I gave this one a 5 out of 7.
I'm trying to remember like what happened. Like one of my notes is just what the fuck, ha ha ha. And then it's fine. Is it finally going to happen?
Oh, this is when B gets shot and they separate and they fight.
Stepdad versus the mothers. Buu equals bubblegum confirmed. The reverse chocolate attack. Don't ever forget that one.
Yeah, of course.
Yoked Buu. PEDs for sure. Alpha anger. LOL.
Just like nice. Just like old Liver King.
I think that's why. I think that was back when we were in our
Liver King phase.
Yeah, I think that's why I put that, because I don't even know what PEDs really are.
Performance enhancing drugs.
Yes.
281 Minute of Desperation. This is, I actually think that this is the worst beatdown we have seen in this show.
Worst? Oh, like for the person getting beat down. Yeah.
Dude, like it is brutal.
Yeah.
So Vegeta, it's basically it just starts off. It's just insane looking, dude. Like the art is so perfect.
The score is just immediately ripping. It's like, what is the song? Is that Super Saiyan 3 or is that Boo's? That's
Boo's.
So
Boo's
good.
theme.
The drums are just pounding.
Yeah, dude. we get another Kamehameha, and Boo tried to deflect it, but he couldn't deflect it. Which to me, it's just like, just do it again, dude. Like, he couldn't deflect it.
It was so sick, though, because you see it come to him from behind his shoulder, and he, like, puts his arms together with his little braces, and he gets to, like, hit it with the bat. And the way he swings is so impactful. And I thought he was going to deflect it because we see him from the other side, and it's not hitting him. And then you realize that's because it's just carving through his side.
Blasted his arms off. And then another really cool part after that was Goku fires 2 blasts at Boo. One comes from below, one goes from up top, and it's like kind of the pressure is like squishing them together because they're both trying to. And then he shoots another blast, but then Boo deflects those blasts back to Goku, so they hit each other.
That puts him in the cave.
No, so shortly after, and then he lands on the ground. Goku blasts him on his head, like he blasts all the way through the whole planet. Supreme Kai and them this whole time, by the way, are like observing. And and last episode we didn't even talk about it cut to hell, and all the villains are in hell observing, which is okay.
I completely blanked that out of the episode.
Just a little filler sequence for you. Actually, believe it or not, a lot of this actual fight, like the choreography, is technically filler because it's
not in the
manga. A lot of this fight is not in the manga, so it's even more impressive that a lot of it they're actually basing just around.
That's hype.
Other stuff, like the panels. Yeah, so he blasts through the whole planet. You can kind of tell now that Super Saiyan 3 is taking its toll on him. And then Boo says he's going to kill Goku. And I love this line from Goku where he's like, yeah, you wouldn't be the first.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Cell and Raditz killed him.
And every villain says, I'm going to kill you, Goku. Like, it's...
Right.
You're not telling him anything new. Goku is just hard as hell in these episodes.
I know.
Doesn't even care about dying because he's like, I've been there, done that. I'm not doing it this time.
Right. And so he kind of meets back up with Vegeta after he blasts him out of the cave.
Well, hold on. In the cave.
Yes.
One of the coolest 10 seconds of Dragon Ball Z ever. They are fighting. They're doing the zoom in on the impact areas. So you're seeing ribs, and then a foot comes in and just kicks into the ribs, and it holds on the shot. But there's no music. So it's just the cavernous echo of the boom boom, and it's so sick. I wish they did it longer because music kicks in after a few hits too.
Yeah,
if that whole cave sequence was no music, that would have been sick. But even just the few we got, I was getting chills. So cool.
That was I wish I wouldn't have forgot that. Yeah, dude, I loved that too. And then he blows up into a big balloon, which is cool, and he blasts them out. Everything is so cool because what they do with these couple episodes is everything that Boo does in the past, you'll see it for too long or too many times or whatever. But besides the regeneration thing, which is kind of inevitable, he does a move once and then they move on to the next thing. It's just so unique. He goes over to Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, "Don't worry about me. You go get him, Goku." And Goku's like, well, the problem is that I probably could have it first, but I wanted you to have your turn. And Vegeta's like, what the hell, I didn't have a chance in the first place, and you knew that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, man, yeah, kind of. And then...
True.
And so basically Goku's like, I need time to regain my bearings and to power up. And Vegeta's
I got a little scared here, I'm not going to lie. Because he didn't say I needed time. He said I need 1 minute. And I was like, don't do this to me.
Oh,
don't do this to me. But it does not seem to be going the route of
Frieza.
Namek.
Oh, no.
But
we know how long 5 minutes is in Dragon Ball Z.
Right. Yeah. So Vegeta is saying, I can go do that 1 minute for you. It might not go well. And Goku's like, it's not.
And boy.
And yeah, take it away. He jumps in for the fight. And
dude. He's just which this is one of the first times, which of course after the speech where they really actually kind of seem like friends to me just on their interactions.
Yeah.
But dude, Vegeta round 2 versus Boo. I mean, God, dude, there's no other way to put it than just decimation. I mean, rocked.
Our boy cannot get a dub.
Dude, I mean, some of the most impactful and brutal hits we've seen in the series. I mean, just when he punches him in the gut, you could just see it on come out of his back. I mean, blasted a bunch of times. Right, oh my God, dude. The point where there was only one point where he gets 2 or 3 hits in on Boo, because he just keeps getting back up and keeps getting back up every time he's knocked down by Boo and taunting him. Well, dude, there's this point where he gets comboed and then he grabs him by the hair and he point blank blasts him in the face. And the way they animated it with the impact frames makes it feel painful. And then he's just like laying in the rocks, and I'm like, dude, he looks so dead. And then he gets up again, and he climbs up over the edge, and he's like,
Boo's like thought he had it in the bag, and
yeah.
Vegeta, is like, nah.
He just keeps getting back up, and he has a really great like, I'm not done with you yet kind of thing, and powers back up into Super Saiyan, and
the stakes are high too, because Goku and him talk about right before this fight that like if you die again, Vegeta, that's it. Like you're gone.
Your
forever.
Spirit won't even exist.
And
like
so
nothing.
that Vegeta's stepping in to really save not just like these people that his friends and family, but the fate of the universe theoretically, and this at least this world that they're in. Knowing that he's putting it all on the line, and it doesn't seem to be going well.
Yeah, man. And problem is, a minute goes by, and Goku's just kind of like, man, what's going on? Like, this isn't working. I don't really understand what's happening. And that's when the episode ends.
That's literally how I feel when I work out. Like, just give me a minute, and then a minute goes by, and I'm like, it's not enough time.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Another easy 7 out of 7 for me.
Yep, that's another 7 out of 7 for me.
And then after those first 40 minutes flew by because they were so entertaining and such eye candy and story candy, we get episode 282, Old Boo Emerges. And this one, dude, it had to have like had serious production issues because it is really, really rough looking. What's weird is like there's a couple of shots that don't look that bad. They look pretty decent.
Yeah.
Including all the stuff with the Supreme Kai. But
the first half is not. It wasn't until the second half where I started to notice,
dude,
some things.
They kept on reusing the same shot of Boo's face, and it kept on making him look like a lizard or something. Like, Vegeta's face usually looked pretty bad, aside from the fact that he was getting choked out to death. It just sucked. It was just so rough. For the most part, this episode, Vegeta's getting choked by Boo's arm, which is pretty brutal at the end of last episode. But in this episode, it kind of just goes on a little too long, and the animation's really poor.
Yeah, but like whips his arm out too, like very far, like long distance, and then kind of strangles him in. It was cool in concept.
It was. Well, it was cool at first, and then and the gist of this episode is that Satan steps in and talks a whole lot, and I had actually forgotten about the fact that they detached Fat Boo. Yeah. When they were inside Super Boo. And
I didn't even, literally until just now, I did not realize how that happened.
Yeah. So remember when they were in there and he's like, don't do that, I won't be myself anymore. Well, they detached him and he became Kid Boo, but Fat Boo never came out with everybody. And now Boo couldn't hit Mr. Satan because of Fat Boo, and then he spits him out.
That's okay. So it is because of Mr. Satan that he comes out. Because I was like, oh, he's coming out because Mr. Satan. But I was thinking of it more like, oh, he's seeing, like, that's his friend. He's remembering. He's, like, getting the power to come out. But I totally forgot that they busted him out.
No,
in
it's
the
like,
sack.
Well, yeah, they busted him out. But no, the reason he came out because Boo spat him out because he was getting annoyed that there was a part of him that didn't want to hit Mr. Satan.
Yeah.
So he just got rid of it. Which, that didn't affect his power or anything because he was already detached.
It's actually pretty sick, though, to do that. Spit out your weakness.
Yeah. It was cool.
So Boo.
Sorry, I'm just no. Go ahead. I'm just so disappointed by this episode.
That's funny because I didn't dislike it too much. I think it's just I don't catch on to production issues as much as you do, as we've seen over the course of this show. So I didn't hate it too much actually.
I didn't hate it,
and I didn't even mind that Satan was doing what he did because it did feel at first like a Satan, like this is his big moment, but it was less that and more getting Boo out, getting Fat Boo out so that we can go to the next part of this fight, which is Boo. This is like a bridge episode between the Vegeta Goku versus Kid Boo to the next part of this fight, which is Boo versus Boo.
Yeah, how long do you think that lasts?
I don't know. We haven't seen Fat Boo fight like this, really. He fought Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
And Vegeta.
But that was short. Yeah.
They were short fights.
We haven't seen them like balls to the wall. Like he wasn't struggling and he wasn't having to do too much.
And he fought very briefly against the evil Boo.
Yeah. And it's still fun and games to him, which it might still be here, but like the stakes are higher. He's fighting himself. I'm excited to see how he like handles a fight like this. One where like the stakes feel different for him.
The thing is though, we've already seen him lose against the much weaker Evil Boo.
Yeah.
The gray one. And so, I mean, what more can really be done here, I wonder?
I don't remember our name for Jacked Boo.
Super Boo.
Super Boo. Is Super Boo's not a Boo in there? He's the culmination of Boos.
He was the Kid Boo
plus
Gohan and them. Well, even without, he was the evil Boo that ate Fat Boo.
Okay.
Is Super Boo that whole time. And then he absorbs other people and goes back and forth and whatnot. But there's the Fat Boo, and then Fat Boo spits out Evil Boo because he wanted to be good. And then Evil Boo eats Fat Boo and absorbs him and becomes the evil dominating Boo. And then Super Boo has the ability to absorb whoever. And then once everybody got pulled out, including the Fat Boo getting disconnected, he went back to his original form of Kid Boo. And now he just spit out Fat Boo because Fat Boo was in there just like disconnected.
So I think Evil Boo's going to come out and it'll be like the Boos versus Boo. But again, they can't beat Kid Boo. Kid Boo's like strong as hell.
Yeah, I love it's really a battle of attrition. Like they're just not doing anything.
Yeah. That's why I'm still after this entire arc, like we still don't have a solution to defeating a piece of bubble gum, which is especially interesting to me because they're giving it their all and they still don't actually have a way to stop them.
Do you think there's a way do you think say like you could sell him like right a Kamehameha that's big enough maybe just fries every last particle, or do you think there's like another attack that they could use, or do you think that they're like gonna have to fuse again, or like what do you think is going to be the finishing deciding factor?
I think he will probably...
And who gets it?
I think it'll either be like a zap every cell type of thing. I mean, I've been saying like put some fire on him, see what happens, you know. Or I think that they will just put like the genie back in the lamp type thing.
Yeah, but narratively, dude, because
I know.
that just opens...
I know, because then it's just like he'll be back.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be frustrating. But I really don't see... another. I mean, they can't. It's not. This isn't going to be a change of heart situation.
They've pretty much written that off.
There's no emotions to appeal to within Kid Boo, so I really don't know. Or you know what? Maybe maybe they suck up Kid Boo and Fat Boo becomes the new Boo and just like keeps Kid Boo at range. And Kid Boo's like, or not Kid Boo, Fat Boo's like, I've got him inside me. We're safe.
So you think like...
But that's also, I mean, that's just putting the genie in the lamp.
You think like the nice Boo would be like a recurring character?
Not necessarily recurring. Maybe he goes off and he's like, I got to get away from people so that I can keep you guys safe in case Kid Boo ever comes out again. But maybe, I don't know, you know?
Narratively, out of the characters we have, like who do you think should get the final blow? If there was one?
I think Goku. I mean, this is like the final arc of the series. I want to see Goku like... I want a Superman moment, which he's had before, but like I want another one.
Yeah.
And I want it to be a heater with a sick monologue. Give me the what's the one?
Hope of the Universe?
Yeah. Give me something like that and just let him win.
It's funny.
That's all I want.
I forgot to mention last episode that Vegeta's speech about Goku to me undid some of the damage that the Hope of the Universe like dub-ism did.
Yeah.
Whereas like normally he's just like, I'm a Saiyan from Earth sent who came here just to defeat you, instead of like, I'm the hope of the universe and the light for all things dark and whatever. I like how Vegeta kind of just like points out like the reason you're fighting these strong people is just to push yourself. Like it's not...
Yeah. You're not like a savior. You're just...
He has a sense of justice. Yes. Like he'll help those who need it if he were to happen upon that situation. But the real reason he wants to fight is just because he enjoys it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not Superman. He's not listening for cries around the world and going to save them, even though he could. He cares about his people and he protects them. And if there's a really great fight to be had, he's not going to be upset about it.
He's just simple, man. He's just
a simple kind of man.
Did you catch that harmony?
Yeah, that was sick.
He's just a dude from the mountain. He's just a freaking mountain redneck. Like, that's what he really is. He's a freaking redneck. Which is one thing about the dub that as amazing as Sean Schemmel is, like the sub is so much better about pointing out the class difference between Vegeta and Goku, because he talks like a redneck. He says like ain't and y'all.
There's
and all
none of that in the dub.
But and then yeah, of course Vegeta uses like more proper language, which he does in the dub as well. But there's definitely a bigger difference between them. They're even more so foils than before. That's all I got. I got 3 out of 7.
I gave it a 5 out of 7.
I'm glad you liked it. I think I'm on the highs, dude. Like I know, I just know like how good some of these episodes are, and like this one was just such a come down from the last couple. But I'm glad you had a good time.
This is the first time, so we sat down and Brandon was like, "I'm very excited for these. These are great," type of thing. Like, but I've been burned, as we've talked about here a few times.
Quite a few.
So I was keeping my expectations in check, but yeah, these were some bangers. 2 out of 2. We were almost 3 for 3. Have we ever had 3 for 3?
I don't think so. Maybe during the Cell arc.
Maybe,
I don't think
yeah.
So.
3 7s in a row is tough.
It is tough because of the nature of like their production. Like every time they have a banger, which I mean we got 9 episodes left. Like they're gonna put everything they've got into these last few. But let's see, Wizard's Curse. Gosh, dude, the Majin Buu arc is so long.
I know dude. It feels like 3, or at least no. For me, it feels like 3 arcs. It feels like the Babidi is an arc, and then like Boo's reveal and like that, and then now Kid Buu feels like its own arc as well.
Dude, we're going on.
God, even Super Buu felt like its own thing. A short, very frustrating thing. The hyperbolic time chamber stuff, and
if you count it from the beginning, you can't really count from the beginning of the time skip. Gohan goes to high school. But I mean, you kind of can, right? Like that's the Saiyaman arc, but it's the start. It leads into the Buu arc. Whatever. Just for the sake of the conversation, like that was episode 200, and we're on 282. Like 80 episodes, dude.
That is kind of unreal.
80.
So we've probably been doing the Buu arc for
months.
Around 30 weeks if we had stayed and done every week, but
which we didn't.
We don't.
We got breaks here and there.
So we've probably been doing this for almost a year. Like I bet we've been doing Buu. I'm gonna look real quick actually. What are we calling the first episode 200?
What
are we calling the start of this saga for us?
I don't know what you mean.
What episode were you saying is where we started the Buu saga?
Episode 200 is.
I want to see when in Dragonball Speak we had.
Episode 200 was Gohan goes to high school.
Oh my god, I forgot the tournament and all that. Jeez Louise. History of Trunks.
What?
1 year ago, Goku asks to stay dead and future Trunks finally defeats Cell. It's such a funny title. So Goku versus Pikkon in a 7-year time skip is probably episode 61 of Dragon Ball Speak. Let's see what episodes that
we're on. 88, so that was 27 episodes.
Yeah, that was episode 198 through 200. So 1 year ago.
A year ago?
More than it.
No, dude, don't say that.
Wait, no, what?
What date was it?
More than a year. September 2021 was the was when we started.
You're lying, dude. I know you're lying.
September 18th, 2021 is when we uploaded the episode that we talked about.
You haven't even lived here. Have you even lived here that long?
No, this was a year old place.
Oh my god, dude.
Before I lived there.
Oh my god, dude. No, you're lying. You have to be lying. September 2021 is when we that was when we first saw the time skip. You got to be shitting me, dude.
September 2021. That is a year.
It's now 2023.
It's a year and 4 months ago. 16 months ago.
Oh my god, I'm going to kill myself. That is insane, dude.
Yeah. That is
oh my god.
painful.
That is like one of the most painful things that has ever been pointed out to me, ever. Why did we get copyrighted on one episode on Goku returns from the dead as the tournament begins to gather? Copyright.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. Probably the animation at the beginning that we play. Sometimes, very rarely, they catch that. But
goodness gracious.
Well, we're gonna go deal with that existentialist fact.
Dude,
take us away.
Vidal versus Spopovich was a year ago.
Yeah, Vidal is crushed.
And Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo was 11 months ago. God. Oh my God.
And we're still technically like 3 weeks away from being done with the Boo arc.
Did you know we've been doing this for like 3.5 years?
Since
September 2019.
Yeah, that's wild.
And with that, anyone who's been listening to us the whole time, which we have people who have been sticking with us this whole time, like Brian. I hope you feel as old as I do, man.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
We were like drastically different people in 2019 when we started this, but like we were different people. That's 3 years of time. I was 20. Am I 27 or 28? 24.
That's how old I am now.
You weren't even old enough to drink yet.
3.5 years ago, I was not.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was 20.
You're 20.
That's crazy because that means I'm as old as you were when we started.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
Oh my God, dude. I'm going to die. Oh, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
Our time is finite. Thank you for listening to Dragon Ball Speak. I need to go home and lay down. Catch us next time. I think next time we're going to watch 4 episodes, dude.
Okay, 4.
Yeah.
Swag them.
And then I think the one after that, we just take it home. Oh, wait, no, next one's supposed to be double. That's right. It's perfect.
Is it? No, I thought this was 88.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
We'll
we
do
need
4
to do
next
4
week,
next
and then the
time,
last
and then
episode
just
will be
take it
5.
home. Yeah, it'll be 5.
Yeah, we'll just close her out.
4 and 5. So kind of 2.5 doubles, 1.5 doubles, whatever you want to call it. I look forward to it.
Samesies.
I'm hurt. All right, that's enough.
Bye.
Goodbye.